So something has entered your life that is fully aligned and is meant for you. I'm kidding that you could have manifested it down to a T, you know, and it's like a reward and it's coming through as like a mutual thing. So whatever it is, like deserves you to or manifested you to, even if it's like a pet or like an inanimate object like a home, you know, because that like holds an energy, right? It's like a destined partnership, but it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could be in a lot of ways, but like there's some sort of it's like the logistics have not been ironed out yet, and that could be causing you some anxiety in regards to like, oh well, how is this gonna play out, you know, like I feel like this is meant for me, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna get from point A to point B. So if there are perceived obstacles in the way of you achieving said goal or like outcome or destination or whatever, um the universe is going to take care of them. So it's giving that like, okay, so I'm seeing that like in the past you were in situations that you were not meant to be in, and that's why you encountered a lot of obstacles. Like it's giving, you know, 6 months ago you were trying to find a better job because you were in a relationship with somebody and you're like, okay, well, we're trying to progress our relationship and it'll improve if our money issues weren't as bad, and you know, we want to upscale our space so that we can start having kids, or like I want to make more money so that I can like propose or something like that. And then, you know, every time you were trying to increase your finances or something, or like improve your living situation or whatever, it would just like fall through and it would fail every time, no matter how aligned it seemed. And that's because if that had gone through, you would have like progress in a connection that you were not meant to be in. Like you would have gotten too deeply entrenched in like a situation that you were not want to be in, like not supposed to be in or not meant to be in, and one that would not make you happy. Like it would have been a trap. So you were protect that's why I was like, oh, there's different forms of like, oh, rejection is protection and stuff like that. um you know, the divine could see things that you can't, not necessarily what a person's intentions are, which it could be that too, but also just like, you know, throughout all like dimensions and like in the past, present, and future, like in you know, of like I don't know how many dimensions that is, whatever. But yeah, it's almost giving that like you were protected from having a child with somebody who you were not supposed to have kids with, or having another, okay? Or you know, getting married to somebody that you were not meant to be with and that would have made you miserable in the long run. It's you know, um I think that somebody played a really good long game with you. Uh, it's like they learned from the best, so they could have had a very narcissistic parent who they idolized, but at the same time, like feared, and they like would always like claim that they were trying to heal and be better, and they just wanted to have a strong family unit, but really they were going to end up treating you exactly like the horror stories they told you about that parental figure, okay? And so like the reason why your finances were blocked, or like you felt like you couldn't progress in some way, was because if you had like met that, if like the obstacles had decreased or like erased themselves or whatever, at that point in time you would have been led down a darker path, or like a deeper pit to like crawl yourself out of. Like there would have required more backpedaling or something like that, and the divine did not want that for you, okay? So I'm getting that now that you're actually in the vicinity or whatever of something that is actually aligned for you and that is meant for you, like divinely destined and stuff like that. Regardless of the obstacles that you see, they are going to collapse. They are going to be eradicated divinely, because like it's basically like whatever is needed for you to reach and like the full actualization of this manifestation, or like multiple manifestations, the divine is going to show you that it is meant for you by ironing out like the wrinkles, so to speak, by like giving you or the other person or situation exactly what you need when you need it. I'm hearing in a timely fashion, so it's not going to be that long, as long as you would perceive it to take. It's honestly giving, hold on, sorry, my eye, but like it's honestly giving like, say somebody has stocks and they're like, okay, I can pursue this person and make these big leaps of faith to do X, Y, and Z. I'll know it's the right time when my like stocks improve or whatever, you know. And they like say that, or they declare that, or they think that, or they like put that into the universe, right? And I'm getting that like the time frame is giving less than a month. That's what they said, don't worry too much about the timing, but like I said, it was giving like in a timely fashion, okay? But it's sort of like if the thing is truly aligned and that person is like putting that out there, it's like the universe will match that, and there will be some like supernatural increase in their like investments to support them going in that direction. You know what I mean? And I think that there may be a lot of frightening confirmations. It's giving like, okay, say like, you have been super into somebody. This is just an example, okay? That you've been super into somebody and like you keep having like you keep listening to certain songs, okay, that you may perceive to be sort of niche or whatever. And kind of unrelated, you wouldn't expect to hear them in the same place at the like you just wouldn't expect to I don't know. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like you just like keep having certain like songs come up that you're applying to certain situations or whatever, and you wouldn't expect to hear those songs at the same time or whatever. And then it's like they may be different genres or different vibe or whatever, and then you could be sitting by your window in your apartment or whatever thinking about that person or something like that, and then you hear those songs that have been stuck in your head outside your window like concurrently or whatever, like in the same day, in the same hour. And like the chances of that are just like unreal. There's a bunch of stuff that's going to be happening or it could be happening to you right now that are like, it's too like the chances of it happening are too slim for you to be brushing things off as coincidence anymore. Basically, like you can't, there's no way you can it's almost impossible basically. And so you're needing, or I guess you're being compelled to admit like, okay, hey, I guess something supernatural or whatever you want to call it or how you want to phrase it is going on. So some of you could be awakening at this time due to synchronicities that are really like frightening in some way. But don't be scared. They're in your favor, and it's mostly meant, well, not mostly, but it is meant for like a reassurance in some way that your intuition is correct about certain things and that you are on the right path. Even if the ways that is being shown to you is a bit eerie. Because I'm also getting, you may feel compelled to watch certain movies randomly or whatever, or even like rewatch them, and or even like read something, right? And speeches or something that a character says or dialogue or whatever, it seems like oddly specific to your situation, like down to details. It appears that they are speaking directly to you, like whether that's in the form of like, I was hearing admonition or something like that. But even if it's like a lecture or a pep talk or advice, and it just happens to be, it seems personal, you know what I mean? And it's not like a coincidence, and it's not like, oh, I'm making this fit my situation. You may get like chills or feel kind of like, oh, it's like the actor or whatever is like breaking the fourth wall and speaking directly to me, and I never noticed this before, and it's like weirding me out or whatever. So that's why it's really important to be present right now. And you may see a lot of things happening, or experience a lot of things happening that are like sort of, I wouldn't say like forcing you to be very present, but it is giving that sort of like, if you go somewhere and you don't technically need your phone, like you could be safe and whatever without it, but you have a habit of always like checking your phone or always like being on your phone, even like regardless, right? And then you know your battery drains abnormally fast to kind of like force you to be in the moment. And then like during that time where you are like kind of forced to be in the moment, you notice things that you wouldn't have noticed otherwise, that kind of like bring you clarity about situations that were confusing you, or bring you confirmation even. So it's almost like you don't have to try so hard to be present. It's like the universe is I don't know, it's how you don't really need to like, if a path is winding, usually like the road will wind with the path, so you don't have to like, you know what I mean? It's sort of like you just kind of need to like follow the path that you're being led on now, because the universe is kind of like taking the reins of bring you where you need to go. Like you've done all the work now, you kind of just need to like flow, like be like a leaf on a flowing river, you know what I mean? You don't need to fight it or anything.